I've just had a slightly strange experience. And it shouldn't really be weird for me, but I felt it. And people have been telling us, oh, the high street's dying, it's dead, it's gone, it's finished. And I work alongside retail on the IT side of things, and I see a lot of retail. But I'm up in I won't say where I am, because it's unfair on the place where I am. But I walked up the high street, I walked up to a cafe to get a bit of lunch. Very nice it was too. But for the first time, and I walk up a lot of high streets in my line of work, but for the first time, I looked around this small town and I thought, you know what, it's dead. The town centre is dead and there's no coming back from it. And I think one of the reasons why I felt like that, because we all see empty shops a lot of the time. You hear a lot of the time about how big retailers have gone, smaller shops are shut in, footfalls down on the high street, that kind of thing. We've all been getting told that. We've all seen it with our own eyes. You know, shop shuts, charity shop opens up in its place. Another shop shuts, it becomes a vape shop. Another shop shuts, it becomes a tanning salon or a nail bar. Used to be one of those where they put the feet into, put the fish in the tanks to nibble your feet. Do you remember them? You go and put your feet in a fish tank. We even had shops like that at one point, didn't we? Last couple of years. And all the fish would eat all the dead skin off you. But what I saw on this high street up here was, you see empty shops and they get filled with other stuff. But what I saw here was quite a lot of empty shops. And they've been empty for a long, long time. And of course, the signs all wear out, the electrics are damaged inside, they're left in a bit of a state, the windows are smashed. The cost to get anything like that back into a normal shop is high, just to get a shop back on the high street. But who's going to put a shop amongst a load of empty shops? They're not just empty, they're decaying, they're falling apart. And I saw an awful lot of falling apart shops. And that's the first time I've actually felt it, that the high street is dead. There's no coming back from that. It is what it is. And you can't see what they're going to do with it. The car park I used to park around the back of it, it was free. You can't charge people to come and park up in a town centre. If people are going to have to pay, they're not going to be encouraged to park and go shopping that way. So it was free. But it was actually a one-way system, and I ended up driving down the wrong way because all the signage on the floor is all worn away. Now the locals know it's one way. I made a bit of a mess driving around the place, not knowing which way to go. But I don't know which way to go because all the signs are worn off. There's potholes everywhere, and I'm talking big potholes in the car park. Nobody's investing. Nobody's putting any money into it because nobody's coming. And it genuinely is the first time I thought, the high street's at it. I can't see a way back. And I work with big retailers, huge companies, smaller companies, and I see a lot of stores opening. But I can't see a way back for this kind of thing, for these little towns, even some big towns as well. And it's not just out of town retail parks, that's one of the few places where, you know what, people still go out to shop, and they're always busy on a weekend, aren't they? You go to Meadowhall, Sheffield, Trafford Centre, they're busy. They're always busy. They're indoors. I was in Meadowhall a month or two ago. It was chock-a-block in the middle of summer. But the thing that's killed it, we all know, it's companies like Amazon and Temu. Big companies like that. I've always stayed away from, completely stayed away from Temu. I try and stay away from Amazon, but sometimes I have to use Amazon purely because the thing I want is no longer available on the high street. I would rather walk into a shop, find out off a website if it's there, if it's in stock, go to the shop, pay me money, check it over, is it the right thing I need? Great, I've got it. I can't do that anymore. There's a big electrical retailer in the UK where we get TVs and fridges from. I think we all know who it is. I've been in there many a time, and the website says they've got it in stock. I go down to the shop, want to try it out, want to touch it, want to feel it, want to make sure it's correct for what I need. And then they go, oh, we haven't got that in stock. And I say, well, your website said you've got it in stock. Oh, well, we can get it in, and then we'll get it delivered to store and you can come back and pick it up. I said, well, what's the point of that? I've come, you've said it's in stock on your website. I've come here, you haven't got it. What's the point in me coming down here to find out you've not got it, only for you to order it back into store for me to return to store? So I'm going to the shop twice. Why would I do that? What's the point? I could just order it online from you, or I could order it online from Amazon. As much as I've tried to avoid companies like Amazon, I've had to use them. And there's one particular telling point for me that made me realise that everything was lost on that front, even down to the ordering online in terms of where do you order stuff. This camera. I ordered this camera about a year ago now, a little bit under a year. But there's a British company called Jessop's. It's a camera shop. They have places on the high street still. They do video recorders, camera equipment, that kind of thing. And I thought, oh, I'll order it from Jessop's. British company. I believe they might still be a British company. I'll order from them because then I'm not feeding the beast. I'm not feeding Amazon. I'm trying to keep a smaller company in business. So I ordered the camera. I believe it was a Sunday. And they said 3 to 5 working days for the camera to be delivered. Now, the reason I wanted the camera was because I wanted to use it the following weekend. Ordered it on the Sunday. 3 to 5 working days. I thought, a bit steep, but they'll see the order tomorrow. Surely they'll dispatch it. Maybe if it's second class post, it'll be here in a couple of days. No problem. I chased it up midweek. I chased it up at the back end of the week. I had to go through a web chat portal to chat to an advisor. And eventually I discovered that come Friday, they still hadn't sent it out. So that order's been sat there, waiting to be sold and delivered to a customer. And I discover on Friday morning that it hasn't yet been dispatched. I wanted the camera for Saturday. So unfortunately, I cancelled my order. I want a refund. This isn't acceptable. I even tagged them on LinkedIn as well. I think it's a shocking customer service, and it's not partly other companies being cheaper and bigger like Amazon, it's some companies being terrible at doing what they do. So I cancelled my order, £600 camera. What did I do? I needed it for the Saturday. So I ordered it, 10 o'clock on a Friday morning. It was in a locker around the corner from my house by 6 p.m. that very same day. The same day. This isn't even the day after, this is the same day. It was dispatched the same day and it was there. And I was able to use it. As much as I'm trying not to use Amazon, they came to my rescue at that point, didn't they? Is it because I'd try not to use them because they're too big, and I don't want them to get too powerful, because sooner or later they'll be the only ones left, and all we'll have is Amazon, and there won't be any choice. That's my own little battle with them. That's my own taking a stand. But the simple fact is, even when you do try and use other companies, the service is so shockingly bad, you're forced into using Amazon, who deliver. Literally and figuratively, they deliver. So what does this say about the future of retail? I don't know. I think my job's safe for a little while yet. Not quite sure how long. But I think a lot of shops are going by the wayside. A lot of big shops. But seeing the high street today just hammered it home to me for the first time that the rot has already set in. But I don't think there's any way of turning... There's no way of turning the oil tank around. It's going in one direction and there's no correcting it, sadly. The problem with the high streets is that high streets also support other businesses, shop workers, cafes, pubs, restaurants. People need places to go. People who are working in town need places to eat. So there's an economy around that. People who work in offices need somewhere to eat. Deliveroo, that kind of thing. That's a video for another day. But there's so many economies that are linked on the high street. Newspaper shops. Not that people read newspapers anymore. Drinks shops, cafes, markets, all that kind of thing. Is it all going to go? Or we're just going to be left with big brown grey areas? Is that all we're going to be left with? Where our town centres once stood? I do fear for them. There's a hell of a lot of housing you can put in there, but that's also a video for another day. It just left me feeling a little bit sad that it's just reality striking. As much as you try and deny it, and you think, something will happen, something will recover, it won't get that bad. It is getting that bad. It is getting that bad, and it's only going to get worse. And I can't see it changing. Do you see the same thing happening in your street, in your town, in your city, in your village? Are people all sat at home, doing everything, ordering everything online nowadays? Are they going out to buy anything anymore? Have they got a choice to buy anything? Because there's nothing left on the high street for them to spend the money on. COVID might have played a part in all of this, people staying at home, having to order stuff because shops were shut. All these key workers, delivery drivers, having to go out and do what they've got to do. Keep people in iPads, mobile phones, that kind of thing. It's not a UK thing. I see it. You see it all over the place. But again, yet another video to come. Are people getting too powerful? What happens when there's only one thing left? What happens when there's only one retailer left, one car manufacturer? What happens then? It's a monopoly, isn't it? But we'll touch on that on another day, no doubt. But rest in peace, the British High Street. Sad to see it go.